And I don't like that trope. That is my second least favorite trope, in case you were wondering. The first would be marriage of convenience. Hold your tomatoes. I know. Not popular opinions. Hello my friends, my name is Lindsey and I run the blog Books for Christian Girls, and welcome back to the little corner of the internet where I talk mainly about Christian fiction. It is June. I am doing a special little reading vlog series, I guess, for this month because this is my birthday month. I am turning 24 on the 22nd, which is actually in 3 days. This is my third reading vlog video. I just wrapped up the second one and wanted to start a new book with the next June reading vlog. I have a few options. I'm honestly not sure what I am in the mood for. Daisy May. Oh my word, she's been so barky today. It's been insane. I have a few options. I just don't know what I feel like reading. And I want something that's going to make me happy because today's been a very meh day mentally. So I want something happy, but I just don't know what. So I have a few options. And now I have to figure out what I want to read. Let me add a couple of these books. I'm going to do a try a chapter thing. And we'll see if I actually do well with that, because I did that with the first reading vlog, I think it was. And I think I picked like the first book I read a chapter from. So I think I might just like read the first page or the first sentence and decide that way. I want something that's going to like uplift me and make me feel just happy, which we have potentials for that. Let me find though. I've finally finished my Secrets of Mary's Bookshop collection, so I could read one of those books that was not on my TBR for the month that I shared in the first reading vlog. Let's see. So Digging Up Clues is technically the next one, but I skipped Cooking the Books because I couldn't find it anywhere, and I recently found it, so yay. Let's see. This is all about a middle-aged woman that runs a bookshop. It's more of a mystery bookshop, I think, and she gets into mysteries, you know, the amateur sleuth kind of thing. I don't know if it's going to keep my attention enough. Let's see. When Mary's friend Henry, her friend, calls her one spring afternoon, she assumes he's calling to invite her out for ice cream. Instead, he needs her sleuthing help. As a member of Grace Church's financial team, Henry was going over the church's accounting records and getting everything in order when he realized that $50,000 had gone missing. Yikes. And not sure how that happened. Let's see. A soft gray shadow curled around Mary Fisher's legs, then disappeared into one of the little cubby holes behind the front counter where she stood. Mary took a step back. As she did, afternoon sunlight poured into the space. So that was about her cat, Gus, I'm going to guess. I'm not going to lie, that's not intriguing me. Is there any other... I don't know if I really feel like a suspense, because suspense means murder, and I don't know if I feel like a murder. The historical book I just read had a murder, so I think I'm good on that topic. And I don't really want to read a historical per se because of that. Is there anything else here that interests me? Do I feel like a Regency? I don't think so. I don't think I feel like a Regency book. Let's see. Another option is A Royal Quest by Melody Carlson. This is book 1 in a new duology, the Princess Wars duology. Royal twins have been battling it out for almost 18 years, but Princess Heather is firstborn and her ailing father's first choice to inherit the throne. Princess Rose is not a bit pleased, and the kingdom of Raspin I assume, is not in good shape. Before Heather takes on the kingdom's responsibility, she ventures beyond the palace gates to see how her people really live. Disguised as one of them and accompanied by her royal instructor and his son, alright, now I'm intrigued, she sets out hoping to experience a memorable adventure. Her well-planned excursion unravels when she is separated from her traveling partners by bandits, aided by a handsome but mysterious young man. Oh, of course, okay, never mind the son, forget him. This better not have a love triangle. Her journey grows even more perilous, but at the time Heather returns to Raspin, everything has been turned upside down by her sister's rivalry. Her biggest battle has just begun. I don't know when the second book of this duology is being released. I have seen the cover because of the author's newsletter. Okay, so Once Upon a Time, that's cute. It's starting with Once Upon a Time. I approve of that. In the Kingdom of Raspin, twin princesses were born. Okay, let me have chapter 1. Keep it short and sweet. Heather knocked on the door to her sister's chambers. Tell Rose the news and make a quiet exit. But Heather had barely announced her plan to be gone a few days before Rose exploded into rage. Maybe. That has potential, I suppose. That has potential. And it's also short. I like that. I like that. Let's see. I don't know if there's any Christian content in this. It's being published by White Crown Publishing. But let's see. Typically, you can check the copyright dates to see if they mention any scriptures. Because if they use certain versions, they have to note that in the copyright. And there's nothing. So, I don't know. It might just be clean. Let's see. Then we have 2 reread options. That I've really liked both of these series, but it's been so long since I've read them, so I've been curious. I got to meet Miss Janice Thompson and got it signed. This is one of the books I got signed. It was so great. Small town Katie Fisher is planning her fairy tale wedding. Sure, her boyfriend hasn't managed to pop the question just yet, but that doesn't mean she shouldn't enter as a contestant in the Texas Bride magazine and win the dress of her dreams, right? Anyway, she's sure he'll be getting down on one knee anytime soon. Oh boy. And the one-of-a-kind designer dress doesn't just fall out right out of the sky when you need it. But when Katie's boyfriend takes a job in another town and breaks up with her on the very same day she wins her dream jet, her world is turned upside down. Dare she go to Dallas to claim her prize? And will the hunky pro basketball player who runs the Beyond Swanky bridal shop, yeah, you read that right, discover her humiliating secret if she does? Okay, you know, Janice Thompson books always cheer me up, like always, so very high potential. Let's see. That whole thing about being a big fish in a small pond is more than just a saying, at least in my neck of the woods. When you grow up in sweeter than peaches town like Fairfield, Texas, you find yourself captivated by the love of family, friends, and neighbors. And don't even get me started on the church folks. They'll swallow you up with their bosomy hugs and convince you that you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. That kind of fits for some of the people in my church, you know? I remember really enjoying this series. Like, I've enjoyed a lot of her books, so this one might be a potential. That has a potential. Put that in the potential. Okay, and then we have. I want to read either this trilogy or this trilogy during this birthday week, around my birthday, but I don't know if I'm in the mood for this one. I remember loving it, but I don't know if I feel like it. Let's see. The main girl is a missionary, but in India to young girls. But when her family must return to England due to an illness, she readily accepts the burden for her parents' financial support. Let's see. She takes on the job as a governess and quickly finds that teaching her 4 privileged, ill-mannered charges at a grand estate is more challenging than expected, and she isn't sure what to make of the estate's preoccupied master, Sir William Ramsay. Widowed and left to care for his 2 young children and his deceased cousin's 2 girls, William is consumed with saving the estate from financial ruin. The last thing he needs is the distraction of a kind-hearted yet determined governess who seems to be quietly transforming his household with her persuasive personality, vibrant prayer life, and strong faith. And that's the thing I really remember about the series, is that having a lot of faith content. It was great. I remember very well. Chapter 1, October 1911. Julia Foster lifted her gaze to the clear October sky as a lark swooped past. Her steps slowed and her thoughts took flight, following the bird as it dipped into the golden trees beyond the meadow. If only she could fly away back to the familiar life and cherished friends she had left behind in India, but that dream would have to wait. I remember really enjoying this one, but you know, since it mentioned October, I'm wondering if I ought to read this one in the fall. I have 3 main trilogies I wanted to reread this year, and these are 2. I already knocked off 1. And then we have 1,000 Heartbeats by Kiera, which is secular YA, but I've heard it's very clean. I've had a lot of friends be raving about this book, so I have higher hopes. I've actually never read any of her books before. It's got a cool map. That's pretty cool. I'll give it that. Part 1. Oh, it's got like a... what's actually maybe happened at the end. Those always confuse me. Keeper of the Lost Cities. I'm gonna get that title right. That series has been doing it too, and it's a mean tease in my opinion. At the same time Annika was reaching to feel her sword from its hiding place beneath her bed, Lennox was wiping blood from his. Oh, it's in first person both ways. It goes back and forth. Huh. I don't know. Am I in the mood for this one? Love has a sound. It sounds like 1,000 heartbeats happening at the same time. Princess Annika has lived a life of comfort, but no amount of luxuries can change the fact that her life isn't her own to control. The king, once her loving father, has gone cold, and Annika will soon be forced into a loveless marriage for political gain. The life of a princess. I'm so sorry, hun. Miles away, small comforts are few and far between for Lennox. He has devoted his life to helping his people take back the throne that was stolen from them long ago. Is it the throne her father has? Oh no. For Lennox, the idea of love is merely a distraction. Of course it is. Nothing will stand in the way of his fight. But when love, against all odds, finds them both, they are bound to its call. I mean, technically, it's a fiction book. They can't possibly be together, but the irresistible thrum of 1,000 heartbeats won't let them stay apart. I feel like I kind of did mocking, and I don't mean to be mocking, but you know how romance books always lead up. I might try this one. I haven't read any of her books. I've heard good things about some of them. I don't know. Let's see. In Lennox's point of view, so that's the guy. It's so odd to see Lennox, because I'm not used to seeing that name as a human name. I know a dog named Lennox, so. I walked back to the castle trying to decide where to stop first. My quarters are the mess hall. I looked down at my coat and boots, wiping at my cheek. The back of my hand came away with traces of dirt, sweat, and blood. I could see splatters of all three across my shirt as well. I'd go by the mess hall and let everyone see. I don't know what I feel like. I don't know. Should I eeny, meeny, miny, moe it? I almost feel like I ought to eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. But every time I do that, I'm like, but I don't know if I feel like that one. And I do it again, and then it's a continuous cycle. So I almost just need to like pick blindly. Is there anything else? I don't really feel like a historical since I just read one. I'm trying to do better at changing up my genre. So that is one thing. If I read one of these two, I can't read the other one right away. I have this one checked out from the library though, as an ebook. And they keep fussing at me that there's people waiting, and that's a pressure. So maybe I ought to read that book. I don't know what else I feel like. I keep getting asked when I'm going to read Dust. It's a good question. That's a fair question. I don't know when either read. I am such a mood reader, and with June I'm really trying to do mood reading, even though I've already DNF'd a book in each of these reading vlogs so far. So hopefully we will not be 3 for 3 in this reading vlog. Let's hope. I guess I'll start 1,000 Heartbeats. You know what's nice though is it's a hardback and it's like 500 pages, but it's pretty light. So that's kind of nice. I haven't read a physical book since I started reading some of the random Keeper of the Lost City series. So I think I might read that one. Let me stick this stack up here for the potentials. I feel like my potentials just keep growing bigger and I'm not really taking many off. But I think I'm going to start reading this one. See what all the hubbub's about, because so many people have been raving about this one. We'll see, y'all. No, we'll see. But I'll probably go back and forth between this as a physical book and an ebook. I'll probably read it more as an ebook, but I'll look at the map often in the physical book, because it's hard to look at maps when they're a Kindle edition, you know? So, alright, I'll give this one a try. Tomorrow, I think my mom and I are going to go out, though, and find some fruit, because I want to do one of those cakes that's made from fruit. I don't like sweet things. That's just not... I don't do sweet things at all. So I wanted to do something maybe kind of different. And I found these kind of fruit cakes, but not the fruit cakes everyone hates at the holiday season. But like it's just... Let's see. It's fruit decorated with fruit. That's very much my thing. So like it's got a watermelon base with pineapple hearts and kiwis at the bottom, kiwis flowers and that kind of thing. So I want to maybe do that. So we have to go hunt for a watermelon. It's a little out of season. Like it's a little early. Typically you see the big watermelons everywhere around 4th of July, at least here in Texas. So we're gonna have to hunt, but I love honeydew and watermelon, cantaloupe, kiwi, blueberries, strawberries. My mom mentioned the red seedless grapes, but I don't know about those. I like them, but I don't know on this. And then, dragon fruit. So we get to go to the Korean market to find dragon fruit because I love dragon fruit. I feel like there was something else. Not bananas. I hate bananas with a passion. I could rant about those for days. I hate them. I try not to use the word hate, so let me say loathe. It's a synonym, but I really, really dislike bananas. They're disgusting. Oranges I'm not a big fan of. I'll drink orange juice, but I don't like the actual fruit. And that's basically how I feel about all citruses. I like the juice, I don't like the fruit. So I think that's going to be all of them. I think. And if we go to the local Korean market, it's local-ish, I can find other fun things there. So I think I'm going to start reading this one. And I will see y'all later. Hello, my friends. I don't want to start. Okay, I want to give an apology to any of my sweet book friends who love this book. You might want to skip this part of the video. I'm sorry. I'm giving it a 2. You probably want to skip this part of the video. If you've already skipped it, that's totally fine. Okay, it is about 10 o'clock Tuesday night. I have finished it. I don't know where to start. Oh my word, y'all. I have my laptop here with my review because I'm like, I don't know where to start. Okay, so I guess let's start off with what this book is about. It is got that medieval princess royalty, and I gotta be honest, I don't know if it was me or not, but I did kind of mock the main girl a lot because, you know, she's a princess, so sorry about that. I mean, when I read the little, I kind of, yeah, I already was in the mood. Anyway, where do I start? I guess I can start with what the book's about. I've already read y'all though what it's about, and basically it's just legit enemies to lovers, like legit enemies to lovers. And I don't like that trope. That is my second least favorite trope, in case you were wondering. The first would be marriage of convenience. Hold your tomatoes. I know. Not popular opinions. I don't like those two. And this was like legit enemies to lovers, and I'm used to the Christian fiction version where it's more like rivalries to more. Like, they don't hate each other. Nobody's ever killed anyone. You know, he has killed a plenty, and that is also part of my problem. I didn't like him at all. I did not like him at all. I'm sorry. It is what it is. She was okay. She never really endeared herself to me one way or the other. I only honestly cared about her brother. I only really cared about him. I would have been way more invested had this been his, like, told from his perspective, or at least we saw his point of view and his girl's point of view. Totally would have changed the book for me. But because of Annika and Lennox, I did not like Lennox. I just did not. The big spoiler, y'all, I don't get it. There's so many spoilers I could talk about, so I did put those in a spoiler section in my reviews. And I'm just, they really hated each other. They were legit enemies, like willing to kill the other enemies. And then there's a scene, the Cave of Feelings, as I'm going to call it, and 180. And of course, you know it's bound to happen, right? But honestly, I think I would have been fine had one of them died. It's terrible to say, but I was just like, I guess I keep grudges more than they do. I don't think I do, but when it comes to my fictional books, I guess I do. I guess I do, because they would be kissing and all happy hunky-dory, and I'd be like, what about this? What about this past thing? I kind of feel I kind of wasted my time reading this. I mean, I didn't, because I just I did knock off a book off my physical TBR. And then I also read 500 plus pages, which here's also a thing about that. That is way too long for this book. This book did not need to be this long. This could have been like a good 100, 200 pages shorter with more happiness at the end. I beg of thee. It's just, I liked her and her brother's relationship. I liked her brother. There were certain parts of this book I just didn't like, and I don't do enemies to lovers. I just do not, and that is the majority of this book. And then once the whole cave of feelings happens, it's kind of a 180, and then it almost feels like she's got like Stockholm syndrome or something. Like, I swear, it was just like, girl. And so like they have their confessions and sharing the others because one of us isn't going to make it out of this cave alive. Yeah, right. And we have all of that, but then they both get out, obviously. Is this a spoiler if I say they both get out? Like, that was in like page, I don't know what page, but like 60% of the book. So hello, we know they're gonna come out, and they come out, and then they're back to the thoughts of having to kill the other, and I'm just like, you liar, you're not gonna kill him, you're not, like, who are you fooling? You ain't fooling me, kind of thing. And it's a romance book, you know they aren't going to, but I honestly think I would have been more entertained had that happened. I'm a terrible person. Sorry. I have a lot of spoilers I want to talk about, so I'm going to insert spoilers, so please skip to whatever timestamp here if you don't want to hear about spoilers, because I need to get these spoilers off my feeling. I keep editing my Goodreads review, adding more to my spoiler section, because it's just... Okay, so, big spoiler. He was the one that beheaded her mother that went missing. This is when I say I apparently hold fictional grudges, because this has happened in a couple. There was another book, a Regency book for Christian fiction that I read, and she thought he was responsible for her father dying and like held it against him for all of like 20 pages, and then it's like, oh my word, his eyes are dreamy. Like, girl, come on. So I don't like it when it's like, you killed my family, you killed my parents, I love you, kind of thing. Like, oh, I can't handle it. Maybe I am pettier than I realize. Do with that what you will. So we have that. But what I do not understand is why he wouldn't kill the fake leader of his people. Like, he's killed many people before. Has no regrets about any of them except his mother, because that made an impact, of course. Because the mother cared about him and that kind of thing, of course, because she's a nice, wonderful human, because that's our main girl's mom. And so that's the only death that's affected him. So I'm like, you easily could have killed this fake leader. Come on, you can do it. But then he said no, he wasn't going to do that because he didn't want to have to lead the battle. But you are in far too deep for that kind of mindset. Like, I don't know what happened to his spine. Like, he had a spine. He was pretty heartless at the beginning. And then once he met her, what's the phrase about love changing a person? Is that just the simple phrase? I think that's a simple phrase. And it was, I don't know. And I don't know. And then I really thought, and this was a part I really disliked, is he has like this little pet fox. And of course, the fake jerk villain leader guy finds the fox, kills the fox, eats the fox. Like, that was heartless, author. I'm sorry. That was heartless to do that to us. I'm so sorry. Like, what? But then Lennox still wouldn't kill him. I'm like, okay, where's his motivation for killing him gonna happen? Spoiler, never happened. He never killed him. He's locked in the dungeon. Who knows what happened? I don't know. The epilogue was a few pages and there was barely anything in that epilogue. So, I don't know what happened to him. Did it say? I don't think it said. I was too busy, like, grasping for happiness in that epilogue. 3 stinking pages. No. Does not say what happened to the villain. So, I don't understand where his gumption, where his spine literally went. I don't get it. So, like, that part just... And then another thing that bothered me a lot is once the Cave of Feelings happened between Annika and Lennox, we're kissing a lot, and then at one point he gets to come be with her, and like they have to cuddle together for warmth. I guess you could call it the forced proximity trope, and there was that. But then he gets to cuddle in her bed with her when she's still engaged to, yes, mind you, a wackadoodle, but morally that felt wrong because they love each other and it was kind of brushed off to the side. I don't know. It felt morally wrong to me. She's engaged to this other guy, but she's cuddling in bed with the guy she loves. And like we if that was like kind of like implied that like in her kingdom there's been kings and queens that have had mistresses or whatever, I still wouldn't have been okay with it. But I would have understand her mindset just a little, like, not accepting it, but I could have understood where it was coming from if that's where she was raised. But we had nothing like that. There was no hints or alluding to, like, people keeping mistresses in her country. So, I don't know, just the fact that it was there and it was kind of looked upon as okay or whatever because they were in love and obviously they're in love kind of thing. I don't know. Morally, that just felt off to me. I don't know. Y'all, ugh. I'm disappointed I didn't like this book, but in all honesty, I don't feel like I had the highest hopes for it to begin with, and I got annoyed at different things, and I just didn't like him. The map at the beginning is really cool, but the main guy, I just didn't like Lennox. I think I can explain why I like the friends to lovers or friends to more trope. And that's just because it's got the cute moments, it's got the awkwardness. There's always somebody who misunderstands and thinks they're dating, and I just think that's the cutest thing. And I love when it becomes that natural, like they're friends, they care for each other, and then it leads into more. I love that element, all those elements of the friends to more trope. But this enemies to lovers, I guess I hold grudges. I guess I do. I don't think I do. But maybe I do. Things to ponder and pray about. So, But yeah, unfortunately this book was a pretty big miss for me. I'm so sorry to any of my booktuber friends that like it. Please don't hate me. Please don't hate me. I wish I liked it. This was my first book by this author. And I've never really been interested in any of her books because I've always heard they're just very princess romance, royalty cheesiness. And you know, some days I like that, but I gotta be in the mood for it. Content-wise, let's discuss content. So, lots of kissing. Cuddling for warmth. Cuddling because they like each other. Sharing a bed. Lots of noticing. I mean, not too bad in the noticing, but like a lot. Lots of fighting. People die. Certain people do not die that should have died. I will link my content review down below. I'm just doing one on Goodreads because this isn't Christian fiction. It's just clean. And I mean, the only time like hell was used once or twice in a way that wasn't referring to the place. It was as more of a cuss word. Elsewise, there was nothing stronger than like stupid or idiot, that kind of thing. But I'll link the main content. I'll put the main content in my review and link that down below. But there you go. There's yet another unpopular opinion from my belt. Why do I keep getting unpopular opinions? I wish those would stop. It's unfortunate. It's a pretty cover. I really wanted to like it. I also need to just point out, I don't really like the whole fate concept. Like in a K-drama, sign me up. I don't know why. In my books, I roll my eyes. Why is that? So, I don't get it. And like with okay, spoiler again. Let me put the timestamp to skip again. And then it's quickly like, they talk about a child they met when they were little pretty quickly on. And I'm like, watch that be them. I've watched enough K-dramas. I know better. This is them. And sure enough it was. And that was even more part of like the confessing and the kissing and the Cave of Feelings. And I was just like, y'all. Of course it is. So I'm used to that in my K-dramas. And I don't typically mind it if it's done well. But when it's just added in, it annoys me. So, done with all the spoilers. Y'all. I'm disappointed I didn't like it more. I'm disappointed. I know the author is a Christian, so I appreciate that she's writing clean fiction in the secular market. I have heard, though, that a couple of the later books in the selection series have a gay couple, so watch out for that. I have no interest in that series. Personally, enemies to lovers isn't my thing. I didn't realize how legit enemies to lovers this was going to be. I didn't realize it. So this book was, unfortunately, a miss for me. But that crossed one off my physical TBR. So there's something, I guess. I don't know. I want to read a good book, y'all. I feel like I keep striking out. I mean, I'm not, but I feel like I am. I don't know what I'll read next. I'm going to type up some of the content, though, that was in this book for my review real quick. It'll already be done by the time this video is up for sure. I don't know what I'm going to read next. No idea. I'll let y'all know when I know. is technically after midnight, so technically it's the 23rd. But today was my birthday, my 24th birthday. It was a busy day, as y'all saw from the footage. I hopefully included quite a bit of the cake. That was such a fun project that my mom and I did. And we now have a ton of fruit. Like, our fridge looks like we are legit vegans by having that much fruit in it. If you've ever seen like a vegan what's in my fridge video, you know, it's always colorful and always fruitful and it's lovely. We ran out of containers, so I'm like trying to cut everything up and stick pieces in my mouth and then try to get other pieces in containers. We ran out of containers. I thought we had enough containers. We did not. But I thought I would show some of the fun things I thought y'all might like to see that I got for my sweet parents. Just like little birthday gifts. Number one is this shirt that is just the cutest. Tea and books. Is that not just perfect? And it's an orchid color. I'm so excited about this shirt. Honestly, I think I'm gonna wear this shirt tomorrow. Another I'm reading, but this one is in a pretty blue. These are all from Piper and Ivy. I've talked about their shirts before because they're awesome. And then look at this. Read more books in that pretty orchid color. It's not quite coming. It looks more mauve-y on camera, but it's more of like a... It's got more orchid kind of lavender tones. So, yeah, super cute. Whenever they do 25% off, just to let y'all know, whenever Piper and Ivy does 25% off, that is their best deal. So, whenever there's a sale, I typically pick up a couple, but I was so excited. Look, in my garden I spend my days, in my library I spend my nights. I'm trying to read this backwards on my viewfinder. It didn't work, but look how cute it is. So cute. So cute. Oh my goodness. I'm just so excited. My collection is building. I have so many of their shirts and just other shirts. Y'all have to see this. My best friend, I opened the package she sent me yesterday because she's in Oklahoma. I'm in Texas. Y'all have seen her in a couple of my videos, which I'll link one of them up there. I love that video so much. And look at this. It's me. It's literally perfectly me. Snoopy with a daisy. Like, she knows my aesthetic so well. So well. I'm so excited about that. And then an edible flowers shirt. And it's just got all these different ones. Peyton, this smells like you. Oh my word, that is so funny. It smells like you, Peyton. That's so fun. But, yeah, it's so cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. I love good t-shirts. And then, okay, let me know if y'all have ever seen these before, but it's those miniature houses that you build. And, like, this ends up being, like, 8 by 8 inches. Like, it's tiny. Hang on. And it's got a lot of plants, and it's just so much fun. I'm so excited to do it. I'm a little like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. Because, like, the little booklet has, like, all these, like, fold this, bend this, cut this. So I'm a little overwhelmed. But in a good way. I think it might take me, like, quite a few years to get together. Unless, like, I hustle with it. But I think it'll be fun, like, to do things here and there. Like, they have all the plants, like, cut this paper and then roll it and then add these beads and that kind of thing. This is wild. It's one of those miniature houses. And, like, they've got all the tools and, like, beads and stuff. I don't, and, like, there's screws. And this one actually even has a light switch that actually works. Which is just, like, wow. The people that put this together and then put the kits together, it's just impressive to me. So I foresee doing this while, like, listening to an audiobook or booktube stuff or something, because this will be fun. This will be a fun project. Okay, and then shall we get into a little book haul? I think we shall. Let's see. Let's first knock off. I've been talking about these books in these last recent reads. Not recent reads. No, I haven't mentioned them in any recent reads. Reading vlogs. So, The Keepers of the Lost Cities series. I got the name right! I'm like 5% awake and I get the name right. I can be 20% awake like normal and I did not. Okay. But these have, this is the illustrated and it's got little notes from the author. And I'm so excited to read these and see the notes. I'm so excited to like re-look at this. The one thing I'm noticing, compared to the rest of the series, they're different. Who approved this? Who approved this? Okay, so this will be going at the very front end of all the other books. I mean, I was planning to do that anyway, but it's definitely going to because of the height difference. Who approved that? But so we have that one, and then book 2 and 4 and 9. I was so excited. My sweet parents. These were the last ones I was missing, so I'm going to get to put them all together and see how the series looks all together. These are big books. Like, these don't look that big. Like, book 9 was quite... How many pages was book 9? Just gonna have to reread these last chapters again by the time we get book 10. It's about 730 pages, so that's fun. And then just some oddball random books that I was hunting for quite a while. Well, 2 of them I've been hunting for. The other, well, I guess you could say a few of them I've been hunting for. Keep Holding On by Melissa Tagg. I'm trying to catch up on all her books. I'll be reading her newest book here soon, though. I don't know when I'll get to that one, but... And then just a random one that I had added to cart was Lone Witness by Rachel Dillon. This is book 2 in the Atlanta Justice series. For some reason, Book Outlet only had a couple copies of it, and I missed it, but I got books 1 and 3, so there's that. And then a book I'm super excited about, I'm so excited about this one, is The Lady of Lunaria by Michaela Bush. This is the Rapunzel retelling that I talked about in my last recent reads that I really, really enjoyed. And I was actually planning to start the sequel, which is based off of different characters but in the same world. I was going to start that tonight, but I'm so exhausted. I feel like my face, does my face look like it's on the floor? I think it does. So I'm so tired, but I'm so excited to own this book. This was such a precious book. And then the orange manga. This is the omnibus of collection 2. Basically, it's a bunch of different ones, so it's nice and thick. And then the future one, and then the new To You Dear one. This is like book 6, book 7, I think technically. And I've actually already read them. I reread them recently. But it was really neat. It's a tearjerker of a story, but there's just something in it. And once I reread it, I appreciated it a lot more, which was interesting. And I think that's partially because I understood manga more. Like, I read this as like one of my first mangas, and I don't think I'd recommend it that way because it's different. In the sense of, if you've never read a manga before, they read... So, like, you probably think I'm holding the book wrong, but I'm not. They read it from right to left. I always get my lefts and rights mixed up. Right to left, and then the pages are right to left, and, like, trying to figure everybody out when there's no color is difficult, in my opinion. So, I think I struggled with that the first time I read this series. So, rereading it, I was really able to figure it out more and get more involved in the story. And it was just it's a tearjerker of a story. Like, I want to reread now this new one. I read it once, but I want to reread it now that I own it physically, just because I think I appreciate them more when I reread them. So that's my little update for my birthday. Yay! I wanted to keep it a low-key day. I didn't really have anything planned besides doing the fruitcake. The fruitcake, but not a Christmas fruitcake. If you watched it, I hope you enjoyed that. I wish I could give y'all all a slice. I so wish I could give y'all all a slice because we have so much fruit now in our fridge. We have so much fruit. It's crazy. If you didn't watch that clip, no worries. Here's a picture and a video of my fruitcake made out of watermelon and 10 other kinds of fruit. It's a lot of fruit, but it was neat. We ended up not using the pineapple because it wasn't ripe. We tried the whole paper bag trick with an apple. Did not ripen it as fast as we needed it. I totally forgot about that little detail. And then we also picked up a Asian pear or a Korean pear. I've heard it called both ways. You gotta be honest, not a fan of those, I've decided. But we picked that up at H Mart, the Korean market. And we were going to incorporate it in, but they started browning, you know, like an apple or a pear would do. So I nixed putting it on there. but there's lots of other fruits, so it was neat. It was a fun. It was just fun. I was expecting when my dad walked in and saw it that he would go like, edible arrangements, eat your heart out or something, but he didn't. I was shocked. But he was very impressed. He's like, this is impressive, Lindsey. You could sell these. I'm like, yeah, for like $300 maybe, because I think I got a workout cutting that watermelon. It was a very sticky project, but it was lots of fun. So that's all my little update. I'll update y'all when I have a book update, but I just wanted to pop in, say hello, show how tired I am. But yeah, I will see y'all later. You're so cute. Hi, I just went to the mailbox. You can see a beagle nose. Hi. All I did was go to the mailbox. Guess who forgot she was filming a reading vlog and has been reading books and forgetting to update y'all about them? Me, obviously. But who cares about that? For the moment, we have book mail. Is it really book mail you're excited for that you do not attempt to open it with your keys on your way back to your house, walking from the mailbox? Every Dog Has His Day by Janice Thompson. And see, if I didn't know she said she was writing again, I would have been crying opening this book, because this is, yeah. Oh, I'm so excited about this book. I'm so excited about this book. This would have been her last book, but she's writing again. So that's the happiest news ever, literally. So happy. Y'all know I love Janice Thompson's books. Well, I know what I'm reading. Daisy's more interested in the packaging. There's a doggy on the cover. You should care. So I pre-ordered this book. It is releasing on... It is releasing on July 1st. It is June 26th. So Baker Book House, I had pre-ordered it from, typically always gives you the books early. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this book. I might actually start this book now. I was kind of in the mood for a Regency, but I know I'll love this, so I might switch and read this one instead. We'll see. But let me update y'all on what I've actually read these past couple of days, though. So Goodreads is currently down as of filming this. I just filmed a recent reads on the floor because I had the whole entire Keepers of the Lost Cities series to talk about, so I just decided to sit on the floor and talk about them. But in between that chaotic video, Goodreads went down. I have all my notes basically on Goodreads, so that made it very fun and difficult. And then a certain beagle would not stop barking. So that's going to be a chaotic video, just heads up now. But I did finish, a couple days ago, I finished The Healer of the Brigade by Michaela Bush. That is book 2 in the Legends of Lunaria, something like that, a series. Book 1 was a Rapunzel retelling, which I had already talked about in a past recent reads, and I really enjoyed that one. Right, that was so good. This one I gave an easy 4. I didn't like it as much, but I mean, come on, you went from a Rapunzel fairy tale to just like in the same world. No, fairy tale retelling is going to be a little lower in my opinion. But it did take me a little bit longer to get into that book, mainly because the main girl for like the first third is very upset and kind of bitter, and understandably so. Her mother was executed, saying that she was a witch. She was not. She just had a spiritual gift of foresight, so people thought she was off her rocker. And then our main girl has the spiritual gift to be able to heal people through Jesus' name. And she's been afraid to use that and has doubted God because she has, I don't remember the proper term, but one of her legs doesn't work all the way, like her other leg. So a lot of people have said that she's cursed or the product of her parents' sin and that kind of thing. And she's let a lot of those lies just hinder her and really alter how she views herself and views others. So that was honestly kind of hard to read about, but once we got past that and had character development and adventure, I enjoyed the book a lot more. I gave it 4 stars. I did think the spiritual gifts topic was really interesting because that's not really something I see discussed, and at first I was a little leery, I won't lie, but I really liked how the author approached it and all the discussions, so I got on board with it shortly after we had character development and a lot more discussions. But it was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. 4 stars. I will be getting a copy from my bookshelves, so that's exciting. And let's see, what else did I... Oh, last night I started and finished, on Sunday, I finished Safe All Along by Katie Davis Majors. I had been pushing this book out. It released, I think, back in February or March, and I like her writing style so much. It is nonfiction. I know, gasp, me reading a nonfiction, shocking, I know. But I really like Kisses from Katie, and then Daring to Hope was her other book a couple years ago, or more than a couple years ago, actually. And so I really liked those two. But then this one, I was really interested in it. And it's, I think the tagline was, let's see if I can get Goodreads to at least give me that information. Trading our fears and anxieties for God's unshakable peace. And I have to say, I probably related to a good 80% of things she was saying. And I'm glad I waited to read it because I don't think I would have been in the right frame of mind back when it released. And I got a lot of information out. I gained a lot. I felt understood in a lot of different ways. It's really hard for me to talk about nonfiction, especially when it's nonfiction like that, because it's such a personal thing. And the author is very personal and shares her struggles, and I just admire that so much, but that's really hard for me to do personally, so I don't talk about it really. But if you do struggle with anxiety or anxious thoughts or being a control freak or grief or anything like that, I think you may gain something out of it. It kind of just re-drills into you, not drills in like a negative way, but it tells you the things you probably already know you should do. And that's letting go of whatever again and again and again, and filling that hole with Jesus and Bible and your Bible and all of that stuff we probably already know. But it's good to be reminded about again and again, because you have to sometimes do it again and again, you know? If you know, you know. So it was a really good book, though. I really enjoyed it. I will definitely be buying a physical copy for my shelf. So this reading vlog is turning upwards. Yay. I'm supposed to be editing the reading vlogs. I really wanted to have the first reading vlog up right around my birthday. But as you already know, that didn't happen. So I'm going to try to get on editing that today. Editing reading vlogs are kind of a pain. I don't like editing reading vlogs, and I think that's why I don't do many of them. Like, I like the end result, but the editing isn't my favorite part. I like my normal, very structured videos. Unless I'm feeling very creative, then I like editing reading vlogs, so hopefully creativity will strike and I'll be able to get these videos edited for y'all. But I think I'm going to start reading this one here in a bit, or Waiting by the Sea by Melissa Tagg. Those are going to be my next two, and then I'll probably call this reading vlog done. Probably. But I will probably pick this one up later. But first I'm going to go get editing and work on some things. But I will see y'all later when I'm reading this one.
Hello, my friends. It is, I don't remember, it's the same day, but I've showered because I went gardening. But I'm going to start this book and I'm so excited. The back cover says about kick back with your faithful companion and relax with a small town mystery in book 5 of the Gone to the Dog mysteries. My faithful companion won't come in here. She's sleeping on the couch, which, I mean, I don't blame her. There's a bunch of pillows on the couch, but she won't come. So eventually she might come. But look how cute this cover is. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to read it. So I'm going to get started, and I'll check in with y'all when I have things to talk about. I'm so excited. It's so cute. I just keep staring at this cover. It's so cute. Look at the little doxy. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to go read. Bye.
my forehead's shiny in this lighting. I don't care. We're going to ignore it because I just finished. Oh, let's choke myself. That's fine. I just finished Every Dog Has His Day by Janice Thompson. And oh my goodness, y'all. 5 stars. The first book got 5 stars. This 5th book got 5 stars. The other one's got like 4 and 4.5. I love this series so much. So much. Like, I wanted to cry. I was so happy reading it. And then like the ending, and we get to see the first couple from the first book's wedding. And then there's other scenes in this book. Like, oh my goodness, y'all saw me just like laughing out loud. I love it. I love Miss Janice's books. And I say Miss Janice because I'm friends with her on Facebook, and I message her more often than I probably should because I'm just such a big fan of her books. And y'all have heard me talk about her books for ever since I started this channel. Like, that used to be a running thing on this channel, is that it's not a Lindsey video if she doesn't mention a Janice Thompson book. And it's true. It's really true. There are very, very few videos, I think. Like, I've done, I don't know how many videos, but a lot of them, and I would say probably only like 1 or 2 do not have a mention of it, of one of her books, because she writes all the genres, and she writes all the genres so well. And this series has just been chef's kiss perfection. I love it. This book, though, I just realized I was reading the back synopsis for book 6, and those aren't about the characters in this veterinary clinic that this books 1 through 5 have been about. So I think that was even more so why this felt, I don't want to say like a goodbye, but it kind of felt that way. And now I get it, because in book 6, I don't recognize those characters' names at all. They're not, that I can recall, they've never been mentioned in this series. So it's bittersweet. Let's just put it that way. It's very bittersweet because I love this cast of characters. Like, y'all know I talk about Erin Mangum's books a lot, right? Like, my 2 favorite authors right there, Janice Thompson, Erin Mangum. Love their stuff. And Erin Mangum has these friend groups that you just want to wiggle your way in. At least I do. And I'm like an extreme introvert. So I love those friend groups. And this series has had that. And this book really showcased that even more with the friend group of these co-workers, and just how much they care for each other, how much they pray for each other, and just how much they have the others back, and their camaraderie. And it's kind of that found family trope in that regard, in my opinion. But it's just in that perfect, I love this friend group. I want to wiggle my way in. Like, let me be friends with y'all. Like, let me do something at the vet clinic. I don't care what. I want to be a part of this friend group because I just love them all so much, and they're teasing and they're caring, and it's just great. It is great. I gave this book 5 stars. I teared up at so many points just because I felt so happy, and I have not felt that in months. I haven't felt that in months, and I'm so grateful to feel that way about a book right now. And this book is just precious. I feel like I had to give y'all info about it besides me just fangirling. I hope my fangirling gives y'all an interest in this series because I love it. I love the Texas charm, the Texas pride, especially in this book, especially because the main guy, whose point of view we don't get. We only get the girl's point of view in this series. In the entire series, the main girl of whatever book it is, it's always in her point of view. Though I'm wondering if book 6 is going to be different. I don't know. But it's just been so much fun also because of that. Typically, I like having both point of views, but this just adds to that first-person charm that's also very popular with like the clean fiction world right now. So it's just precious. It's sweet. It's clean. It's so clean. The romance is light. And the faith content is just natural, and it's just lovely. But the main girl in this one is Isabel, or Izzy, who is the groomer at the vet clinic. And we've seen her throughout the series, of course. And she's actually a big football fan, hence the football on the cover, but also because the main guy is a transplant to Texas. And I just love all the Texasness to it. Like, I'm a born and raised Texan. So it's really special to see that. And I know some people might be like, all the stereotypes are being fed into this, but They're stereotypes for a reason, y'all. They're true, especially in the area where this book is set in. I'm quite familiar with this area, and I love it so much. I'm excited for book 6, but it's going to be bittersweet in the regard of I don't think it's about these characters because I don't recognize these names. I'm sure they'll be mentioned, and I'm sure they'll have cameos, but this book did kind of feel like the final book. And this was actually going to be Miss Janice's last book. And praise the Lord it's not, because she is such a gift. I'm so happy reading her books. I'm giggly, I'm just...
I love Miss Janice's books. This is just so much fun.
I've giggled out loud so many times. I'm so happy. I'm just so over the moon excited about her books whenever I pick them up. And it just makes me want to reread and read all of her books. And this was going to be her last book. She said she was going to retire from writing. And I gotta be honest, I don't know if I believed that, but at the same time, I prayed it wasn't true. I sincerely prayed, because she's an author I can count on. And those are far and few nowadays, and I love it. It also there was a couple little things here that reminded me of the Weddings by Bella series, which is not her first, what, is it her first series? No, is it? Contemporary with Ravel, it's the first. But it's not her very first, no, it's not her very first series. Was it the first series? It wasn't her first books. I should know this. Janice Thompson fangirl right here. I should know this. Well, shame on me, Lindsey. But there was a couple, like, hints and nods to that series within this book. And that just made me so excited, because the Weddings with Bella series is such a lovely series as well. It's so much fun. I still love the Backstage Pass series a little bit more, because that just has a special place in my heart. But the humor, just so many things. So many things I just love about this series. I could fangirl about it all night. It's 2:30 in the morning, but I just had to hop on here because I love this book. I nearly cried. I did cry. I honestly did cry. There were parts I did cry, not because it was sad, but because I just felt so happy reading it. And that's just really something special. So, I loved it. Look at this puppy dog, though. Y'all, it was bothering me so bad I couldn't update this on my Goodreads as my currently reading. I rarely update books on my currently reading shelf, because I read a book within a day typically, so I don't really see the point. I just mark it when I'm done, you know, that kind of thing. But I had been anticipating adding this book to my current reading shelf on Goodreads, but Goodreads has been down all afternoon. So right before I finished it, it came back online, and I quickly marked it. And then I finished it. So, yay. I finished it. I loved it. I love this cover. Oh, I'm injuring myself. I'm just so deliriously happy right now. But I just love this cover so much, this little doxy. And then knowing about Miss Janice's own 2 sweet doxies back when I first started following her and fangirling over her books. And just, you can tell this was such... Her heart was so much in this book. Like, there were so many little things that I'm just like, I recognize this. I recognize that. I see that. Like, there was little cameos and things. So, like, as a final book, it would have been an iconic final book. But I'm so glad she's continuing to write. And she's working on another series. Oh, that makes me want to cry. I'm so happy. I'm so happy she's writing more books. But in the meantime, I now have to look forward to book 6, which Miss Kathleen Yabarbo is writing, and it's set in Brenham and Round Top. And if you know Round Top, if you happen to know Round Top, Texas, is antique capital. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the nods to that, and just whatever these lovely ladies write next. I loved this series so much. It's obviously not over. This book, like I've said, kind of feels like it's the end of our friend group, but I just love it. I just loved this friend group so much. And this was just so cute. Light romance, the mystery. It was great. I could keep talking. I won't, but 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. This has just made my month. I knew I would love this book. I knew I would love it. But when it actually is that anticipated 5-star, and it is that 5-star, that's awesome. That doesn't happen too much. But it does happen a lot with Janice, Thompson, and Aaron Mangum because they're my favorite authors for a reason. So, yes, I'm so happy. I want to reread it already. I'm actually going to lend out this series to my book buddy at my church. So I didn't put my tabs in, but I will be putting my tabs in. I've made notes on where and what parts and that kind of thing. I kind of read it at the same time on my phone because I had an advanced reader copy and the physical book. And that was actually really fun because I had it open, my phone open with the ebook, and I would be reading, and then I would just find quickly where I was and highlight the whatever mention of whatever. So like if they were praying, highlight that kind of thing. So that was kind of really fun to do that. I don't typically do that when I read ebooks and physical books. If I have a physical book, I typically and the ebook, I typically just read the ebook. But this one, I really wanted the experience of reading the book and reading it on the pages and just all of that. There's just something about that when it's a book you're anticipating to just full on read it. Like, read it. And it was awesome. I love it. 10 out of 10 experience. 5 out of 5 stars. Really good. Okay, my camera battery's gonna die. It's 2 in the morning. I need to go to bed. But I had to update y'all. I really enjoyed it. I laughed so much. I cried. I fangirled. I want to be a part of this friend group. It was excellent. I don't want to stop talking about this book, but I suppose I should for now. But it was excellent. It was excellent. Hello, my friends. It is Friday, June 30th. Technically, yeah, it is the last day of June, so I should be wrapping up this reading vlog. But I have book mail coming tomorrow, so I want to wrap up this vlog then, folding towels right now. But I thought I would check y'all in on what I've been reading. So a couple days ago, I started and finished Wedding at Sea by Melissa Tagg. And that is book 3 in the Mirror Harbor series. And that's become one of the trilogies that I can say reminds me why I like contemporary romance books. Because it's been a really solid series, and you just kind of go in expecting a lot of rom-com fluff, kind of that thing, but there's some really deep topics in her books for this series, and I've really been enjoying how it does. Sometimes the romance has been a little too much for my taste, but this one I feel like it was lighter. The funny thing though, now here we go again, it was enemies to lovers. Each one of these June vlogs that I've been doing, this is probably still number 3 because I don't think I've wrapped up it, so we'll wrap it up tomorrow and then that will be it. But each one I've read in enemies to lovers. That was definitely not planned, but this was by far my favorite one I read because they really weren't enemies. They just kind of like antagonized each other to death, and I loved that. I loved the banter. Like, they literally communicated. The main couple was Lillian and Wilder. Daisy, lay down, baby. And they literally communicated between like smirks, glares, and banter. I love it. Like, that's the kind of enemies to lovers I can get on board with, when they don't actually hate the other's guts kind of thing. I can deal. I like it that way. I don't find it romantic when they hate the other's guts at any point in their relationship. And so this is book 3, and I would say I would highly suggest reading them in order because you'll appreciate it more, and there's been a mystery going on for the entire trilogy. And let's see, okay, let me back up. This book is about Lillian, who is the oldest sister. So I think she's technically the middle child of the trio. Book 1 was Sydney and Neil Neil's the oldest brother. And this is set on the blueberry farm in Maine. But our trio of siblings were all adopted by Maggie. And Maggie, prior to adopting them, she adopted another girl. And when that daughter turned 17, She ran away from home and came back a couple of years later with a toddler in tow. But then that weekend, Maggie's daughter and granddaughter were in a really bad car accident where her daughter did not make it. The granddaughter went missing. So we have that entire mystery of like, who's the granddaughter, where's the granddaughter, is the granddaughter alive? We have that going through the entire 3 books. And I'm glad that I didn't have to wait too long. I picked up the series right when the second book was releasing, so good timing on my part. Daisy, can you stay here, please? I have towels all in my lap. Come here. Thank you. And so we have, let's see, book 1 with Sydney and Neil. They were adorable. And then we have Philip and Indy. And Indy is the youngest in the second book, and they were great. If I had to pick a favorite out of the 3, I really liked Indy and Philip's dynamic, particularly because Philip is one of those guys that's just so awkward around girls. I love that so much. I have fangirled about that trope before. Is it even a trope? I don't know. It should be a trope because I love it. I love it when they're not like suave and that flirtatious vibe. I really like when they're not that, because I would be suspicious if a guy I liked flirted that much with me. It's been, who'd you practice this with, bud? Like, So I love it when they get all like stuttery and tongue-tied over the girl. I think it's the cutest thing. So I really liked those 2 as a couple. They were great. And that was an emotional book. Like that was a good one though. And then this 3rd book is about Lillian, who is a lawyer, and then Wilder is a private investigator, and he is the one who has kind of inherited this case from his father that passed away prior, because he was working on the case of trying to find Maggie's granddaughter. And so Wilder and Lillian have reasons why they torment the other, and it was the kind of enemies to lovers I'm good with. Like, it was quite well done in that regard, and it was just cute. And I also love it when the brother realizes, so it's the enemies to lovers trope, but it's also the brother's best friend trope, which I love it, because then the brother's just like, what? When did this happen? You're my best friend, but why? Why? Like, I love that dynamic. I think that's a really fun angle of the book, and I don't see it that much in Christian fiction. So I really enjoyed this series though. Like, this is the series that, like, Erin Mangum, obviously I always love her books, and I'm always like, yes, contemporary romance, yes. But there's not too many other books or authors that do that. But this series has done that feeling for me. So I'm really excited. I ordered that 3rd book to complete my shelf series with them. It's over there actually. It's right on the edge. I don't know if y'all can see it. But I really did like it. I gave it 4 stars. I didn't find the romance content to be as, I feel like number 1 had quite a bit of kissing, and the meet cute was kind of awkward in my opinion. It was awkward in my opinion. So I wasn't the biggest fan of the romance in that one, but this one I thought it was less. There is still romance and all that kind of thing though, so I would still say 16 and up probably. I'll leave my full content review, but that was just a really pleasant read. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. Is there anything else I want to talk about that? Oh, I'm sad the series is over. Like, I'm so sad about that. The author did put in her note acknowledgments at the end though that this may not be the last time we visit this family, and I hope not, because there's another character now. I really want her own story. And that was fun. Okay, one thing I didn't like about the story, I have a note on that, was that the readers kind of kept secrets from. So, like, the main characters figured something out, but it was like oh no, it can't be. And I'm like, it can't be what? Like, that happened quite a few times, and I did get a little annoyed with that. Just because I'm nosy, okay? I want to know. Tell me too. I don't want to. You were expecting me to figure this out. Don't make me try to figure it out. So I do wish it wouldn't have been quite that much. Oh, could it be this? It kind of like this is keeping the reader in suspense, but it almost felt like a tease. And I've talked about that before, how I want to know. Tell me too. Like, keep me in the loop here, people. Like, What do you mean it can't be? It can't be what? Like, I'm nosy, apparently. But I'm also reading a book and I want answers too. So, I do like this. I do like that the note I made about this was that the series really stands out to me, and it does that because of, yes, the topics it's discussed and the characters, but also the fact that these characters feel real. Like their struggles, what they've been through, but they just were so, I guess the word would be fleshed out. They felt so realistic that if you told me this was based off of a family that lives on a blueberry farm in Maine, I would believe you. Because even in the epilogue was great. I loved the epilogue. But it was just so realistic, and I would totally believe it was real people. And it's even more in that sense of, and I felt this way with, what Aaron Mangum series was it? It was one of Aaron Mangum's series. I commented on this a while back, but I can't remember which one. It might have been the Lauren Holbrook series. I feel like it was that one where I commented on this as well. That it feels like we as a reader are just getting like a glimpse into their life for this particular time in their lives. And even though the book ends, it feels like they're still living, which I know sounds weird because they're fictional. But have y'all ever experienced that? And if so, with what books? I'd love to know. Or what series, because I always like it when it does that. So it makes it feel like the author could at any point write again about those characters, and I just love that so much. I think that's really, like, it's not necessarily open-ended, but it's not you close the book and these characters never moved again kind of thing. And I know obviously they don't, it's fictional, and this might sound really stupid, but in that regard, I like it when it feels like we just got a glimpse into these very real characters' lives. I like that. I really like it when it happens that way. And this book hit it out of the park with that, because the epilogue and just so many different little things that I was just like, oh, they feel like real people. And I feel like that's a really impressive talent for an author to have. So I enjoyed it. If you like contemporary romance, no, don't fall. If you like contemporary romance and are on the older high school side, I would recommend maybe checking out the series. It's, again, not all sunshine and roses, but I've really enjoyed it. Even though sometimes the romance was a little much for my taste personally, like with the kisses and whatnot. But they were all very cute couples, and it was just, it was a really pleasant read. 4 stars all around. It was good. And then elsewise, I started a little, 130 page, does that count as a novella? I don't know. I probably won't do a full content review because it's just a little time waster kind of book. But it's called Feelin the Chemistry High School 101. And it's book 1 in that series by Melissa Knight. And it's about a girl named Casey. She's supposed to be 16. My jury's out on that. I think she'd be more believable as a 13-year-old. But she has moved to a new town, new city, new school, all that kind of things when her mom gets remarried. And so now she has a stepdad and 3 stepbrothers. And it's fine. I'm not loving it, but it was just one I picked up earlier this morning and just was giving it a shot. I had grabbed it for free on Kindle earlier this week, I think it was. And I just wanted a cute contemporary YA. Daisy May, don't hit the bookshelf. I just wanted a cute contemporary YA. And it hasn't been bad. It's going to be very specific, but prior to getting into Christian fiction, I read a lot of Wattpad books. And I'm not talking fan fiction. I'm talking Wattpad as in when people would post their original stories. It kind of gives off that vibe. So take of that what you will. I don't mean that negatively. I don't know if I mean that as a compliment though either, but it's been fine. It's fine. It's not, no, golly, I keep trying to drop everything. Where can I put these? It's not bad. I'll finish it up. It's probably going to get a 3-star. My main complaint though would be that the main girl does not feel 16. She feels very young. She feels very young. But other than that, it's not bad. So that is my reading update for now. I will check in with y'all maybe after I finish a book. I'd like to start a book tonight. I don't know which book. I should finish this little Kindle book though, so I don't have different plots going through my head. But yes, I will see y'all when I have something to talk about, I guess. Just gonna finish folding these towels.
Hello, my friends. It's been like an hour. Finished the towels, answered some comments and messages, and finished the last like 20% of that little Feelin, the chemistry book. It was fine. It was cute. Palette cleanser, I guess you could call it. I don't really have much to say about it. I already kind of gave y'all my thoughts, and they honestly stay the same. Would I continue the series? Only if I'm in the mood for it. So, that's that. I am going to start Code of Valor by Lynette Eason and try to ignore the cover because I don't do good on the cover. We talked about this in my first reading vlog for this month. And yeah, gonna do that though. I'm gonna see it. Unfortunately, my library loan lapsed. Dang it. So, we are gonna read it as a physical book, and I'll just keep my laptop right by me while I type up my review. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a try. I'm gonna see about the series. Why does this font look so small? Is it my eyes? My eyes have been giving me so much grief these past few days. This feels really small though. Does that look small? Where's another book? Let me see another book. Can't tell. Don't know. But I'm gonna read that. Unfortunately, it's a physical book, but that's okay. I don't like this cover though. I don't like this cover. I hope I like the inside. This is where the whole don't judge a book by its cover is so important. I know. But, okay, I'm going to get reading. I don't really know much about it, so I'm going to just start and then I'll give y'all what it's about later. Hello, my friends. It is July 1st, and it is the end of this reading vlog for the month of June. Thank y'all so much for being here with me for these very long, I'm sure, 3 vlogs, but I wanted to give y'all an update that I finished our last book. Unfortunately, I only read half of it last night, and I just finished the other half of it today. I've never done that before, where I'm not super strict on the whole, if I finish a book before midnight, after midnight, I can still count it for the prior day. Like, I don't really care. But when it comes to end of the month and end of the year, I'm more strict on that. So unfortunately, I finished half of this book in June and I finished half of it in July. Kind of drives me a little batty, but oh well. So I finished Code of Valor by Lynette Eason. I'm still not a fan of this cover. I feel like he's staring into my soul, and so like I kept putting my bookmark over his face. Like, sorry, I'm sure he's like Hallmark lead material, but it was unnerving, sorry. So I finished that one, and I love the premise of this series because it's about this very large family, and almost all of them are involved some way in police or just law enforcement. So like you've got one that's an FBI, one's a detective, he's a detective, you've got the mother's a police chief. So like I just love that dynamic and how close-knit they all are and how we see them within this series. This is book 3. It's about one of the brothers. There's a girl that he helps rescue, kind of save, kind of thing, from being murdered because there's people after her. There's lots of people after her, actually, and she doesn't know why. And so there's a lot of things. I think I'm going to have to wait to see how this book kind of settles in my head, if that makes any sense, here for a bit, to see if I'm going to keep it or not. Because there was some content things, for sure, and the main girl's been through a lot. She goes through a lot in this book as well, poor thing. But there's a lot of content things, but what I really liked was the faith content and the importance of family. With his side, her family is part of what she's been through, bless her. And so I really liked the faith content though, especially at the end. I don't know, I really liked how that was, but there was still a lot of things that I'm like, content, you know, like there's just some certain things. And I don't know when I'll be having a review of this book out. Probably not here in the month of July. But I've done some final thoughts. I would say really only for those older high school girls that are really interested in law enforcement would probably be okay reading this one because, you know, there's a lot of things. And the main girl, Emily, like I keep saying, has been through a lot. I'm trying to be vague because a lot of it's spoilers, but I will put them in my review. I don't know when I'm posting my review of this book, so you might know before I do.
probably. But overall, it wasn't bad. I'm giving it a 2.5, I think. Wasn't bad, but I'm gonna have to wait to see if I'll keep it or not. Typically, I don't think I have any 2-star books on this shelf, and I like that. So I don't know if I'll be keeping this book. But I did really like the faith content. That kind of made the book better to me. Not kind of, it did make the book better to me, but we'll see. So with that, that is my last book for June, technically. But I also had a little book haul I was telling y'all about, and today was a super busy day because I had lots of BFCG things to do, like my normal Saturday, but because I got 3 different book mail packages, and I only knew one was coming, the other 2 was a wonderful surprise, so that was very exciting. But I thought I would share with y'all what I got real quick, and then we can wrap up this reading vlog. So the first thing, I bought this manga series I've been mostly enjoying so far. It's not bad. Like, there's only been 2 instances, I think, of the word hell used in the second volume twice, I think, if I remember right. I binge read a bunch of different manga and didn't even tell y'all about that, sorry. But I don't remember, but I did enjoy this series to go, oh yeah, I want to get it. So I got book 1, 2, and 3 of Formerly the Fallen Daughter of the Duke. It does have magic, but it's been clean thus far. I've read volume 4 and ordered that one from one of the manga sites. But yeah, not bad. It says it has mature themes, but so far I haven't seen that, and it's rated 13 and up. I don't know about these ratings on manga, y'all. I don't know about that. But I just picked them up off of Pango, and we'll see how the series goes. Then, another surprise package that came today was my Olibrius order, and that was Vivid by Ashley Bustamante and Radiant by Ashley Bustamante. I read these 2 books in May, I believe, and I really enjoyed them. They are clean fantasy, have to do with color magic, and yeah, I'm really excited to finally have those. And then I took a chance on another book because I wanted free shipping. Why would I pay $8 for shipping when I can pay $12 and get another book? That's how I think. So I picked up The Great Date Experiment by Ashley Mays. I've not read this book. This is going to be a chance book. I have decently high hopes for it though, because I believe it's considered to be, I know it's contemporary YA. I think it's Christian YA, and I think it looks cute. I don't know. We'll see. I'm very curious. It's published by White Spark Publishing, which is under Whitefire. And Whitefire has done some other ones I've enjoyed, like Seeing Voices, Hearing Lies, Heart of a Royal. I know there's been other ones that I've enjoyed by them, so I thought I would give this one a try. We'll see. But then the books I was expecting that I bought from Amazon with a birthday gift card was The Healer of the Brigade by Michaela Bush. Y'all saw me talk about this book. Was it this reading vlog or the prior one? I don't know. I literally don't know. I haven't even started editing the second one. I think it was the second reading vlog. I feel like I read this before my birthday. I have no idea. But I bought it. I have it. I'm so excited. It's a nice green. I love solid covers. Solid spines. I like covers to be solid too, but I love it when it goes in a color scheme. It's so nice and easy. And then I also got Wedding at Sea by Melissa Tagg. I'm so excited about this one. I didn't realize how thick this book was. It's about 400 pages. And y'all already saw me rave about this one prior in this reading vlog. That was this reading vlog because I really enjoyed this one. I was so excited. And it was just fun. It's funny to me though, like how it keeps splitting like that in the middle. I think it's just because it's a thick book, but this was good. This is by far probably my favorite enemies to lovers I've ever read because they weren't really enemies to lovers. We've already discussed that. So that's my little book haul. A really good book haul, actually. I love it when I haul books, when I've bought books and hauled books that I've already read and enjoyed, because then I know I didn't just waste my money, and it's even more exciting than like getting like a big box of books from wherever or that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this reading vlog series here though. Thank you for sticking through it. If you made it through all 3 of them, I hope you enjoyed this like movie. I swear it felt like a movie. I hope y'all liked it. I hope you found some interesting books to read. Thanks for spending my birthday with me. This was a hard month, and I knew it would be. So that's kind of why I pushed myself to do this reading vlog. And while there were times, oh, I hear a beagle. While there were times that I kind of went MIA. Hi, Bubby. My pretty girl. There definitely was times I kind of didn't feel like filming, didn't want to film, so I didn't. And I think that was okay. Hopefully y'all still enjoyed this video, but I really do appreciate y'all spending the month of June with me and making me focus on other things besides grief. I appreciate that a lot because it's hard to celebrate things when your heart is heavy, you know. So, anyway, I didn't want to end this video with tears. So all that aside, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you for joining me in this reading vlog and for joining me on this channel. I hope you found books that maybe interest you, ones you want to look out for. I had some good books, you know, and you know, overall I feel like I did pretty good with my TBR. I mean, no, not perfect. Like, I did not get to reread one of my trilogies, but there's always July. There's always July, and y'all will see when I read them because I won't be shutting up about them in all honesty. So I will see y'all when I have a new video, and I hope you liked this video. Reading vlogs are not my favorite to film or edit, if we're being honest, but I'm always happy when I put one out because I know I made a good amount of effort, if that makes any sense at all. But thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with me. I hope you have an absolutely lovely rest of your day. I am Lindsey from the blog booksforchristiangirls.blogspot.com, where there's a new review every Monday and Friday. I try to post a new video on this channel every other Friday, and then I'm also on Instagram and TikTok and Goodreads, and just busy everywhere. But I hope you have a lovely day, and thank you again for watching.